Well, hi. Okay, I'm back. I filmed and uploaded that first video a few months ago now with the intention of being consistent and, uploading regularly. I think at that time I knew it wasn't the right time, but I did try. And obviously a lot of things have happened since then, so I don't know, I took some time and I feel like I'm finally in a spot where I'm ready to restart and start fresh for real. So I made that first video in March, preparing to, I guess I was ready to start a new life, and a lot of things had gone kind of haywire in mine. And yeah, I was just ready to start over and finally focus on something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. And I was going to let myself do it. At that point, I felt like I was starting from scratch, and now here I am a few months later actually starting from scratch. I think I knew it then. There were a handful of moments where I was either talking to a friend about their kind of restart in life, or while I was working on that video or coming up with concepts of, or just thinking about starting over. And yeah, there were a handful of moments where I knew that there was one last piece that felt like it was kind of hanging on for dear life. And in the back of my mind, I kept thinking there's something else. And yeah, there was something else. So I filmed that first video, and at that point, I had been through a lot. My grandmother had passed away, and then within 2 years, my dad passed away after being diagnosed with cancer. Both things which were incredibly difficult for me. My cat got cancer, he's still here, we're still going through treatment. I got what I thought was my dream job, and I worked it for just about a year, and I loved every minute of it until Amazon restructured and removed a lot of positions within Whole Foods Market. That's where I worked. And yeah, my dream job essentially fell through, and I was let go. So with all of that and a lot of financial struggles, just a lot of things going on, my fiance and I decided to move home with my mom. That's where I am right now. This is my mom's garage, essentially. It's a room attached to the back of her garage. It used to be my dad's art studio, and we decided to move here because we were living in a condo and we just needed a fresh start. We also, at that time, I knew I was probably gonna lose my job at some point. I didn't think it was gonna happen that soon, but yeah. And then we also obviously wanted to start a new life together. We talked about moving here to save up to buy a house, so we could start a family, so we could travel, just a lot of ideas. And that's where that first video came in. I had just moved in here very recently, and I was kind of trying to figure out, where do I go from here? What's next? So I filmed that first video in March, and then I actually was working on another video. I was filming pieces of April, and it just got too chaotic and I wasn't able to upload it or edit it or anything. I just couldn't handle it. The other video I was working on was, one, rearranging this space. So yeah, if you watched that first video, this space looked a lot different. It just was not working. It was too chaotic, too overwhelming, very claustrophobic. So I decided to rearrange the whole house by myself. I got a little bit of help, but mostly by myself, just to be more open. I guess I'll show you at some point. And then at the same time, I was preparing for our wedding. We were going to Vegas in the end of April to get married, and there were some things that I was sewing. I made an outfit for my fiance and a couple other things that I was working on. So all of that was going into that next video, and it was just too chaotic. I was also running a half marathon the day before we left to go to Vegas, and yeah, it was just too chaotic. I wasn't able to edit the footage, and I figured I would do it when we got back. And then we got back and everything just kind of fell apart. Sorry if this is rambly or all over the place. I didn't prepare for this at all. I'm kind of just yapping and seeing where it takes me. But yeah, all that to say, just a month after our wedding, when we got back, we split. We're separated now. I posted about it a bit on TikTok, and while that was incredibly helpful and healing in some ways, it's actually been really painful since. I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. I don't want to keep talking about it, and that's kind of why I'm putting it out here now. I don't want to talk about the end of my relationship. I don't want to talk about that. I'm getting emotional. Yeah, I just have no intention of talking about my relationship and my now ex-husband. I do want to talk about me and like how I'm getting through it. I just realized like I'm in therapy. I'm doing a lot of work right now. I have a lot of issues. Don't we all? Leo's in the litter box if you can hear him. Yeah, so I'm just realizing all of the ways that I shortchanged myself, all of the things that I sacrificed, all of the things that impacted me up until this point, the stuff that led me to this relationship and then kind of like its downfall, I guess. And I'm learning a lot. I'm healing a lot of things, and for the most part, I do feel good. Like, I have my moments. So for the most part, I'm doing really well. I knew that this, like I kind of hinted at earlier, I knew that this relationship was kind of the last piece. Like it felt at that time while I was kind of preparing this whole like life renaissance and starting over, it felt like this was something that should be going with it, if that makes sense. And not that I wanted it to, it felt like everything else I thought I wanted in life had been ripped away from me, and like, why was this one piece still standing? So yeah. So now I'm on the other side. I do feel like my whole life that I had built for myself up until this point was blown up, but I think it had to be taken away from me because I wasn't going to take myself out of it. And the life that I want to live is so much bigger than the one I was living at that time. And had all of these things that I thought I wanted not been taken from me, I would be there. Like, I would still be in it. I've not really had the chutzpah in my life to do the things that I want to do. I kind of just go with the flow. And yeah, I fully believe that the universe was telling me like, no, you can't do that anymore. Like, we're not doing this. And it happened literally right before Jupiter moved into Leo. I'm a Leo sun and Leo rising. And for the next year, Jupiter is in my house. I'm so ready. It really feels like divine timing. I feel like I'm on my path and that my life is just now starting. So that brings us to now. It's July. July's nearly over. I still have not been able to find a job, and that's been incredibly emotionally taxing. It's really hard to be home 24/7 and alone and going through the worst heartbreak of my life. Please hold. I've applied for a lot of jobs and have no luck, but I think that's meant to be. None of them are right, and they all felt like filler. And I know I'm built for bigger than that and more than that. It doesn't mean that I don't want to get a job. Like, I want to be able to pursue my like creative endeavors while also, having some stability, but it's just not working out for me that way. So I decided that I'm gonna make myself a 9-to-5 and force myself to like get up and do things that I want to do, because I thought losing my job would be the fuel that I needed to like pursue my creative endeavors, but it wasn't. Like, I'll be so honest with you, if you're waiting for the time, like you think you just need more time, like it's not the time, it's me. Even before my relationship fell apart, I had all of this time and I still like was not acting on the things that I want to act on, I will procrastinate and put it off and always have like another reason or excuse or something else to do. So I'm looking for structure. That's what I was trying to find a job for, is I just need some structure in my life and routine. And if I can't get that in a job right now, then I'm going to employ myself, and I will make no money from it, obviously, but at least it will give me some sense of structure and it will get me back into like the things that make me feel good. So all that to say, I'm giving myself a 9 to 5. Today's Monday, it's July 20th, and I'm gonna start clocking in for myself. Monday to Friday, I'm going to start using the working hours while the people that I do have left are actually working. I'm gonna start using that time to work on the stuff that I need to work on or want to work on. Hopefully from there, I'll get like a better sense of direction. I have never really considered what I want to do, like what I want out of life, what I want to do with my life. Again, there's a lot of childhood wounds that I'm working on healing. Hopefully this will be part of that process and I could just zone in or zone out and focus on the things that fill me up, mostly creative things. So anyway, so I have my paper here, this little notepad, and I wanted to make a list of all the things that I need to do or want to do as a reference, I guess. This first page are my notes. I'm learning tarot, as one does in the midst of devastating heartbreak. So I'm gonna I guess make some columns and sort these things appropriately. Admin-y tasks that I'm putting off versus things I want to learn versus projects I want to do. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting, so we'll see. And I'm just going to start listing things off. Admin, learn, create. Those are my columns. I'm going to start listing things off and kind of seeing where I can get started. And, this is what I used to do my job, so I'm going to do it here for myself. Okay, number 1, under admin, I have to text my landlord from my last house. I got a bill for a final gas reading or something that he has to pay. Okay, also under admin, I got my feet tattooed in May in Philly. I love them so much, but of course, as hands and feet do, a lot of the ink fell out and some of it needs to be touched up. And that comes free with the tattoo, but I've been putting off scheduling the touch-up because I don't typically like to drive by myself, and my husband had taken me when I went to get them done the first time, and now it just feels really big and scary to drive all the way there by myself to get it done. So I just need to make the appointment and drive myself to Philly to get them done. I met some really nice people online after I posted a TikTok that got a lot of attention, and one of the girls I was talking to, she lives in Philly, so I'm thinking if I make this appointment, maybe I could meet up with her and get lunch or something that day. So I need to do that. So yeah, I need to make that appointment and just man up, and I can go by myself to Philly. It's really not that bad. In worst case scenarios, I can make the appointment when my sister's available and go with her, but I'll be okay. I can do it. Under learn, I'm gonna put tarot and I'm gonna put astrology. These are both things I've become increasingly interested in the last month and a half. I've been working on these things kind of passively and just learning about them as it comes up to me. Leo went to the vet today, and for some reason whenever he goes to the vet, well, I think it's his medicine, he gets gabapentin because he's not nice to the vets, and whenever he's on his medication, his nose gets all runny and wet, like he's got a little wet nose. My angel boy. He wants to go for a walk. We already went for one walk this morning. If you just wait until I finish this, I'll take you for a walk in a little bit, okay? Okay. I love you. My sweet angel. Will you stay here? What was I saying? So I've been passively learning about tarot and astrology kind of as it comes up. But I'd like to just create like a more structured system. Maybe honestly just like reading through it. Oh, let me add to the list. I have a book. I don't even remember what it's called or who it's by, but it's supposed to be really good for fixing your running form. And me and my sister are currently training for the New York City Marathon in November. And I started reading it and then kind of just stopped. So I want to add that to the list too. These are like 3 areas where I have books that I've kind of been like passively perusing. And I just like to come up with more structure just to like make myself read it essentially. And then under create, number 1 is my Rita top. I love to sew, and it kind of took a back burner while shit hit the fan and things were falling apart. I constantly put sewing. I love sewing and I love making my own clothes, but I constantly put it all the way at the back and the bottom of the list because it's time consuming, and I don't know, I just like can't get myself to stay committed to it, but it's probably like the thing that gives me most joy. Sweet baby. So in this last month and a half, as I've been kind of dealing with the grief, I have applied to pattern test again, which I used to do when, you know, indie designers are coming out with sewing patterns and they need someone to test it. I used to do that a lot and I haven't really been sewing, but I started applying again because it gives me a deadline and it forces me to do it. So I just tested the coastal bottoms for Laura Pierre. I'll like link it. I love those. I tested them. I'll put a picture of what they look like. I made the shorts. I also want to make the pants, but I haven't had a chance to do that yet. And then as soon as that ended, Spaghetti Western Sewing is releasing the Rita top. And I love Sadie. I love every pattern she makes. They're fantastic. So I obviously applied for that too, and that started like a week or 2 ago. So yeah, that pattern test started. I went thrifting and I got some fabrics for it, and yeah, I just need to start working on it. I have some ideas, but I'm uncertain. So that actually, aside from just like that going in the create column, I also want to make a whole video dedicated to it. Let me add it to the list. I love sewing and I love sewing content and I want to make sewing content, so I'm adding it to the list. I'd love to take you through the whole process. I do not usually, couldn't tell you the last time I bought fabric brand new. I typically thrift my fabric and a lot of my supplies and what are they called? Accoutrements? No, what's it called? Notions. I typically thrift that stuff and get it all secondhand. I love to upcycle. Most of my sewing is done. 99% of my, nearly 100%. I couldn't even tell you the last thing I made here. Look at this. All of my sewing is done with secondhand materials. I love sustainable fashion and the idea of kind of a more circular cycle. Anyway, I typically go based off of what I can find rather than like coming up with a concept and buying fabric to match that concept. I'm typically going to the thrift store and seeing what speaks to me and then kind of coming up with a concept from there. So actually, even though this is not that video, let me show you. I thrifted 3 different things. First is this bedding set that is like a plum color. I love this. It's beautiful. Did I show you what the Rita pattern is? It looks like this if I didn't show you. So I love this color. I am uncertain about what direction I'm gonna go, but let me just show them all to you. Then I thrifted this duvet cover and it is black and white striped on one side and then the reverse is white with black stripe. I like this because it's like a big thick stripe and I feel like this could be fun to do like this as the base and then the white as the contrasting like panels, the accents. And then the last thing I thrifted was this sheet that is a pinstripe and it is a light and dark blue. I love this one too. I love this one. I honestly kind of feel like these go nice together. Like that's so fun. But I'm uncertain because I also really want to do like some kind of fancy adornments to it. I just don't know. I have a lot of ideas. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be its own video where I can kind of go through that whole process. I've already started the planning process a little bit, so we'll see what happens. Okay, back to my list. I also have videos that I started making on TikTok that I want to move here. It's essentially a closet curation series. I've done 2 sections on TikTok, and it's not built for short form content. It should be on YouTube. It's meant for YouTube. I just like was not in the headspace to be doing YouTube at that time, and yeah. So I put on TikTok, but yeah, it should be long form content, and I'm excited to move it over to here. Essentially, I am revamping my wardrobe after some, you know, serious mental turbulence, and I've been going through each section of my closet and kind of working on like essentially a declutter, and then from there I want to add some new things, specifically through sewing. Yeah. Oh, adding to the admin column, I have one thing to ship for Depop, and then I have a bunch of things to list on Depop. And then under create, I also want to, I mean, I have a lot of like ideas of things that I'd like to create, but I did a lot of sad and drunk shopping online. All on Depop. I placed some orders, so when those come in, I'd like to film a haul of that. And let me add another thing to this list under admin. See, things just keep popping up. All these things that I need to do. Under admin, I bought a pair of shoes. I bought a pair of ballet flats right before everything fell apart. They arrived the day after we separated, and I have not had a minute to like even look at them. They're just a little snug. They're 42, but they're designer, so they don't fit great. And I've stretched a pair of leather shoes before, so I need to stretch those. And it's literally been a month and a half of me saying I'm gonna do it, but I just like can't even look at them. Let me get them. Actually, I want to show you. Okay, these are them. I bought them off Depop for a good price. I already messed up this little tie. I need to fix that. But yeah, I love how tiny the vamp, how tiny the little top is. Oh, they're so freaking cute. And yeah, I mean, it's been summer and I've been wearing flip-flops pretty much every single day. So it's not like urgent, but I use a good old-fashioned hair dryer and a big chunky sock, and I can stretch these a little bit so they fit better. The struggle of being, you know, nearly 6 feet tall and wearing a size 12 is in standard like shoes, it's not really an issue, but when you get into designer shoes, it's a 42 and a 12 is not what they say it is. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of stretching of these, and hopefully, oh, there's a little spider. Yeah, so hopefully you see these on my feetsies soon. Okay, I mean, I guess that's it for this first video. I really just wanted it to be super chill. Like, I was just planning to sit here and kind of yap. I'm going through the ego death of all ego deaths. It's incredibly difficult and painful, and you know, when the whole world you've imagined, when like every little piece of it falls apart, it's so hard and so painful. But at the same time, it's like this massive weight is almost lifted off of me. Like, I am literally at rock bottom. I am unemployed and now going through a divorce, single, completely alone, living in my mom's garage, and you know, there's literally only up to go from here. And the thing about an ego death is you just realize like how unimportant and unoriginal and meaningless it all can be, and it just gives you the chance to stop taking yourself so seriously and stop taking life so seriously, and just kind of, you know, like I don't give a fuck anymore. It's really freeing in a way. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really hard, you know. I was in this relationship for 14 years, and even before that, I spent basically my whole life so focused and prioritized on dating and male validation. So to be now 31 years old and for the first time focusing solely on me and like asking myself, what do I actually want? I've literally never asked myself that before. Like, I've never even considered it. So to be at this spot, I feel heartbroken that it took me this long, you know, like I missed out on so much. I wasted so much time like not thinking about me and how this is my life. But at the same time, I'm just so grateful like it's happening now, and that I didn't waste more of it, I guess. And yeah, it's my chance to start over and rebuild and get out of my own damn way, ask for what I want, figure out what I want, set standards for myself, take risks. Yeah, I'm just feeling really optimistic about my future because there's so many possibilities in front of me, and I think that things are about to get really good. I feel it. I know it's about to get really good, and it's a little bit devastating that I know I'm about to get all of the things that I've always wanted, and it's not going to be the way I thought it was. The people that I thought would be there aren't going to be there, but it just feels really nice to only think about me for now. Even though I am alone in kind of like the lowest point of my life, but yeah. All right, well, thank you for being here and for listening to me ramble. You can go check out my TikTok if you want. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes it's really difficult for me to be on there, but sometimes it literally saves my life. So I'm gonna be focusing on just like more short form content on there and just kind of posting like outfits and fashion stuff. And yeah, I hope you stick around for this journey. It's about to get really good. It's gonna be really nice, and I hope you're here for it. All right, that's it. Love you. Bye.